going to be getting rid of the pink eventually, but it's here for now. So anyway, I hope everyone is doing well, day or night, whenever you tune in and see this. So let's go ahead and talk about the astrology here, and then we'll get into the Virgo reading. And I will be posting timestamps after the live is done in case some people just want to, go to the Virgo part. All right. So we're going to go back a little bit in time, right? Since I said this video did come out a little bit later than I wanted it to originally. All right, so I think the last time I did astrology notes, we left off around like August 21st or something like that. So I'm just going to pick up from August 22nd as far as the notes and then go all the way to September 28th. Okay, so on August 22nd, right, it was the beginning of Virgo season. And then on August 24th, Uranus was retrograding. All right, so Uranus is one of the ruler of Aquarius, right? So Uranus is about a rebellion or rebellious energy or streak, right? It's about technology, innovation, great entrepreneurship type energy, right? So it started to go into the backwards direction, retrograde, right, on August 21st. So I wanted to look up here really quickly because I didn't write this part down. I did for everything else, but this one, I wanted to see the last time that Uranus was in retrograde. And the reason why this may be important is because retrogrades have us doing a redo of something. So it can be something from the last, Uranus retrograde that wasn't fully healed or wasn't finished in some way. And so now when it's coming up again, right, it can bring those things up again for some, but not for everybody. So let's see here. 2021 is last year. So let's see. Okay, so the last Uranus retrograde was from August 19th, 2021, so around kind of similar time to January 18th of this year, 2022. So I'm just going to make sure I write that down real quickly just to have, right? So I said August 19th through January 18th, 2022. Okay, so again, it doesn't have to be for everybody, but there can be something going on that wasn't fully worked through or finished, or now it's culminating and coming together, or it wants to eventually, hopefully when it does go direct, right? And I assume because last year it was from August 19th to January 18th, that it probably won't go direct until sometime in January as well. So it's quite, some long time coming up to the end of this year where you can go over a lot of these different themes, right? All right. So we're just going to touch on each one of them briefly because I could spend, forever talking about all the different aspects of it. Okay. So moving forward, we have on August 25th, Mercury enters into Libra. All right, so Mercury is known for its communication, right? Planet Mercury. It's also about how we communicate with others, with ourselves, how we take our ideas and put them into action. But basically, when it's now moving into air sign Libra, and Mercury having a lot of air sign qualities because it's the ruler of Gemini, but also it's the second ruler of Virgo, technically, right? So it does have some kind of earth elements there as well. But we have those two main airs, so the Gemini and the Libra, okay? So when they're coming together when Mercury enters Libra, it can be a lot of, for some, not everybody, right? How we say that. A lot of air sign energy where there could be a lot of overthinking or being too much up in the head. But then when you have, again, that kind of aspect of Virgo, and we're technically in Virgo season, right? The earth energy to ground ourselves, okay? But also when we talk about Libra, right? We're talking about themes of justice, of balance, of beauty, etc., right? So there could be more sorry, could be more communication around these themes, okay, once the Mercury enters into Libra. But that already happened, right? Technically, depending on when you're watching this, of course, but obviously that was August 25th and today is August 31st, okay? But even though something happened a couple of days ago, some people pick it up weeks in advance, some people pick it up right on that day or weeks in the future, okay? So that's why we kind of go over it anyway, because it's just kind of cool to look at what it's talking about, okay? All the astrology notes. Also, I do have a description. I have a link in the description box below that has the astrology for the whole year from Astrology Cafe, I believe, okay? In case you want to check that out too. But moving forward, we go from August 25th to August 27th. We have the new moon in Virgo, right? So new moons are really great for setting up new plans and action, having the newness of the moon to support fresh start energy and whatever. When in, let me slow down. Having new moon energy that helps us manifest whatever we want to manifest, right? And so that's really beautiful. And again, having more earth sign energy from the Virgo season, okay? So make it even more stable. So planting the seeds for the things that we want to bring forward, all right? And then we have on August 29th, we have the North Node, which is in Taurus, okay? And that's for everybody, right? With semi sextiling Chiron, okay? And Chiron was at 44 degrees. So Chiron is the wounded healer, right? It's all about having healing and qualities to wanting to look at our wounds, identify our wounds, and move forward in truth in that, right? So getting that true healing. So the North Node has been in Taurus all year. But again, when we're talking about Earth sign energy in Taurus coming together with that Virgo and Virgo Earth energy as well, right? A lot of Earth energy, so grounding, okay? And our North Node, if you're not familiar, is about kind of what our trying to think of the right way to say it. It's basically like what our true purposes here on Earth, right? Our individual purpose while we're here on Earth. It could also, some people say, your career path or what you're meant to do. Okay, so there could be a lot of healing and accepting around North Node and Taurus themes around those things with the Chiron aspect as well. All right, so then moving forward on September 3rd, right? So that hasn't happened yet, but coming up. Shout out, that's my dad's birthday. Happy birthday, Dad. All right, Virgo over here. But yeah, so on September 3rd, North Node is also semi-sextiling Chiron. But Chiron is now going backwards in its own retrograde, okay? And instead of being at 44 degrees the day before, now it's at 35 degrees. So it's a lesser degree. And of course, now it's going into the backwards retrograde motion, okay? So can be very interesting here. So anytime I talk about retrogrades, right, I always used to call them like the redos, the revision, revise, re-edit, right, the re's, okay? So I didn't look up all of the different retrogrades as far as exactly when Chiron was in its last retrograde. But if that's something that interests you, you can always just Google it, right, and figure out when that was and see if there's similar themes happening for you, or culminating and finally coming to its height in some way. All right, so let's keep going now. Oops, and see what else we have here. All right, so we always talk about the planets, right? The asteroids. We also talk about the moon, right? So we have also on September 3rd, it's the first quarter moon. And then moving forward on September 5th, shout out to Carlos, my other Virgo that I love. It's his birthday on September 5th. But on September 5th, Venus is going to be entering into Virgo. Okay, so Venus themes, as we mentioned earlier with Libra, the ruler of Libra, is justice, beauty, balance, just to name a few, is going to be coming in the Venus air sign energies with that earth sign Virgo energy as well. Okay, so it will be different for everybody, but it could be that there is more Virgo qualities to justice, beauty, balance kind of themes, right? So that could be very nice. Okay. Now, moving forward, the next day after that, on September 6th, we have Athena Pallas, which is an asteroid, is going to be entering into Cancer. So Athena Pallas brings up themes of wisdom, truth, defenses, right? Are defenses too high? Are they too low? But also because of the last couple of years, right, with the coronavirus and whatever, regardless of what you think about it, when we talk about our defenses, we're also talking about our immune defense, right? Our immune defense is our body, okay? So can be some health stuff coming up for some, but not everybody. But anyway, when this Athena Pallas, right, is going to be entering into water sign Cancer, there can be more of a nostalgic feeling around wisdom, truth, or themes of defense. Also can be more emotions or more water sign Cancer energy, again, around those themes, or making them feel more dramatic or intense in certain ways, and can also bring up, having the need to feel like you're doing enough self-care when we talk about Cancer energy. And also, if you normally are very outgoing in certain ways, maybe you need to, during that time around where were we? September 6th or so, right? To maybe have some quiet time for yourself, excuse me, and just kind of, take care and check in with yourself a little bit here as well. All right. Now, moving forward on the same day, North Node, again in Taurus, is going to be semi-sextile 28 degrees. Okay, it doesn't say who it's sextiling. Oh, I get it. Okay, just kidding. So if we go back to when North Node in Taurus was semi-sextiling Chiron on the 3rd at 35 degrees, now the North Node in Taurus is semi-sextiling Chiron again, but at 28 degrees. So again, it's slowly moving backwards and getting less Chiron healing, wounded healer energy, okay? All right. Now, moving forward, the big thing that we have coming up here, right, is, if you're familiar, you already know, dun dun dun, but it doesn't always have to be bad. Okay, we have on September 9th, right, Mercury goes into retrograde. So this one I did write down because usually we have a couple of shorter ones throughout the year, and then we usually have the longer one at the end of the year. Just kind of depends, right? So when Mercury is going into retrograde, right, the planner, well, there you go. It could be about plans, right? But the planet of communication is now on September 9th moving backwards. Now, there is the post-shadow and pre-shadow, and I myself have been feeling it for like the last 2 or even 3 weeks, okay? I don't know if I'm just extra sensitive with it this time, or because I was moving and had a lot of stuff going on, then maybe that's why I was feeling it more intensely. But the last time, anyway, we had this Mercury retrograde was earlier this summer, right? We had it on May 10th through June 3rd. So it was a smaller little Mercury retrograde pocket that I was talking about. So it could be something that was going on earlier this year from May 10th to June 3rd. Again, it could be a little bit before May 10th, a little bit after June 3rd, that is now coming up again, talking about a redo, a revision, revise, rework, replan, something like that, okay? This, I can't even talk right now, hold on. Let me figure out how I'm trying to say it. So basically, when we talk about the retrogrades, they're not all bad, okay? But if you are an empath and you feel things more intensely than others, right? Usually if you're watching a tarot video or about astrology, you probably already have some of that going on. You probably are an empath. It's just really to ground ourselves, right? To tap into the Virgo energy. It's Virgo season, right? So how do you ground yourself? It means getting back into your body, right? So reminding yourself, okay, I'm here on planet Earth. I'm going to go for a walk. I'm going to put my feet in the soil. I'm going to take a bath. I'm going to watch a comedy. I'm going to call my best friend, blah, 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 blah. Whatever it is to kind of bring you again to release the energy that you feel from others, release the astrology energy that is affecting all of us, and to just kind of recenter and reground yourself. So, my boss, where I do tarot, part time here in Delaware, wrote a really great little article about it. So I'll try to like post it somewhere later if you guys want to check that out. Okay. But yeah, again, it could just really be bringing something up from the beginning of May till about maybe the middle of June. If it wasn't that Mercury retrograde, it could have been one of the others. So again, check out the link in the description box below that I have and look at the astrology of the whole year. Or even if you don't want to do that, it's faster to even just Google it and say, what are all the Mercury retrograde dates for 2022? And it'll show you, okay? All right. Now, moving forward, we have on September 10th, the full moon in Pisces. So the 9th and the 10th of September, right, is kind of really key, big, important dates if you want to write it down if you're not already aware, of course. So when we have the full moon in Pisces, this is again, coming into more intense energy, water sign energy, right? And we're talking about Pisces, so people can be like more intuitive, people can be more creative, right? Neptune energy, Neptune being a ruler of Pisces, but also if you are partaking of substances, right, to kind of keep it in moderation, okay? Because when you have a lot of Pisces energy, or you already have a lot of Pisces in your chart, whether you're sun sign, moon sign, rising sign, or somewhere else in your chart, when you have astrology aspects highlighting Pisces again, you already have a lot of that in you. It can make things have a little bit more of an illusion quality where you're not sure what is real and what's illusion. Okay, so just side note for some, but not for everybody. Just kind of be aware. All right, when we have that full moon in Pisces, but it should be really nice, to embrace again water sign energy of Pisces, of being creative, of being more emotional and intuitive and psychic, right? So if we put that together again, following the first day of Mercury retrograde before that, okay, so kind of being like, okay, so how can I rework something, revisit something around communication, themes, or electronics, that kind of stuff, okay? So to try to find a more, gentler way to embrace the Mercury retrograde energy, all right? Okay, and then moving forward on September 17th, we have our first quarter moon. And on September 21st, Jupiter, which is still in retrograde right now as we speak, is going to be semi-square Saturn. So Jupiter is the planet of expansion, of luck, of I'm trying to think of the way to say it, but basically, when Jupiter it expands everything it touches when it's going direct. When it's going retrograde, it's not as intense, right? It still makes things bigger, but maybe not the same way it normally would. But when this Jupiter energy, okay, is coming together with Saturn energy, it's almost like you're talking about Sagittarius with Capricorn, right? Because Jupiter is the ruler of Sagittarius and Saturn is the ruler of Capricorn. So it can be like a fiery kind of energy coming together with more earth sign stern energy, right? Because Saturn is about our responsibilities, getting serious about something. So, when this happens, it could be, again, when we talk about retrogrades, going over something that maybe happened the last time Jupiter started its retrograde, or during that Jupiter retrograde season, the whole season, whenever it was. I didn't write that one down. I'm sorry, guys. But yeah, just going over again, how can I be responsible? How can I get serious about something without making it really big deal, but also still having it carry some weight, right? Or how can I bring about my own set of luck, right? When we talk about Jupiter is also the planet of luck. How can I bring on my own luck around these themes of embracing my responsibilities, showing up, being authentic, right? All that kind of stuff. Okay, so moving forward, then we come to September 22nd. So that is officially Libra season. Okay, so Sun enters into Libra. And then on September 23rd, the Mercury retrograde is going to be leaving, what's it? Let's see, Libra to now it goes backwards, right? Since it's retrograde. Now on the September 23rd, Mercury retrograde is going to be entering into Virgo. So that can be interesting as well, talking about communication themes around kind of Virgo type energy. So again, how can I ground myself and work to be a better communicator, as an example, or how can I, um, you know, look at the way that something's put together as far as electronics. When we talk about Mercury, how can we embrace some electronics or some electrical technology from the past, put it together with our current technology, right? Just as an example, maybe, obviously not for everybody, but for like the bigger picture stuff or in society. Okay. So I don't want to spend too much time because I really want to get to, oops, wrong way, the Virgo reading in just a moment here. So we only have a couple left. All right. So then on September 25th, we have a new moon in Libra. Um, right? Because by then it'll be Libra season. So when we talk about new moons, they're great for manifesting. It's when the moon is the smallest and it looks like a C, right? So when you're setting those intentions, then it has the energy to then grow to the full moon, right? But I believe you set your intentions, your magic, your prayers whenever, okay? But if you want some extra backing, always new moon is a great time to do that, okay? And then on September 28th, Jupiter is also right still in retrograde, is going to be semi-square Uranus. Okay, so that could be, very interesting. We were just talking about Jupiter, right? When it's going retrograde, how can I bring about my own luck? How can I give purpose and make things important without overdoing it, let's say, right? Because Jupiter can be a planet of overdoing it in certain ways as well. But when we put it together with the Uranus energy of, having a rebellious, outcast, entrepreneurship energy, right? That could be really cool for a lot of people, right? To figure out how can I still be my own self and embrace that and not feel bad about it, but how can I do that and also bring about my own luck and not like look for attention or go over the top with things, everything in moderation, that kind of thing. Okay. So I'm going to stop there because that's what we have for the astrology notes. But again, if you want to see like the full list, I think it's Astrology Cafe. I put the link in the description box below. All right. So with all that being said, let's now switch over to the Virgo reading. All right. So what time are we at? We're at like 23 minutes. So I'll just kind of keep that in my mind for later. So when I do the timestamps. All right. So after all of that, let's actually do a quick sound bell to just reground the energy and kind of get ready for the Virgo reading. Okay. Okay. So it will be a little loud if you're sensitive. Just be aware it won't be for that long, right? We're just going to do one little gong here. But yeah, basically just, take a breath, relax, kind of center. All right. Did I have this before? Oh, yeah. I think it was right here. All right. So that was good. Let's get into it here, Virgo. And again, happy birthday to all the sun sign Virgos out there. Whether you've already had your birthday or your birthday's still coming up, happy birthday. All right. So we're going to talk about, again, kind of this 4.5, 5 week time period, right? So that's from August 28th to September 28th. So this first row here, each card is going to be about a week's time or so, okay? But we are going to be using two different tarot decks here, and we also have an oracle card view at the very end. And I will be posting a picture after the live of the cards more up close in detail if you want to check out that later. All the info is in the description box below. All right. So I also wanted to say that we all have Virgo energy, right? Even again, if we are not a sun, moon, rising, or Venus in Virgo, okay? There's Virgo somewhere in your chart. So it is a general reading. It can be about love. It can be about finances. It can be about health. It can be about friends, general environment. It can be lots of different things. So only, take what resonates for you and never force anything. And if it doesn't feel right, always check out your other placements, right? It's always why I tell people, if they haven't already, to get a free birth chart online and see where your other placements are, because depending on what's going on in your life, you may resonate more with your moon sign or your sun sign, or your rising sign, vice versa. All right. So all that being said, let's go ahead and call out your cards here, Virgo. So we have the Ace of Sacred Circles in the right side up position. We have the Queen of Swords in the right side up position. We have the Nine of Staves, also known as Nine of Wands, in the right side up position. And we have the Ten of Cups in the reverse position. So we'll kind of stop there, and then I'll call out the other ones as we go along here. And just give me one second. I was turning up the kind of ambient music that I keep in the background. So it's just getting a little quiet, and sometimes trying to keep the dogs from barking, all that. All right. So I just realized too here, Virgo. Sorry about that. We'll do it real quickly. Remember how I said each card was about a week or so time period? Let me just write down, since we're going back in time a little bit for the first card, which dates it may cover, because it's not exact, right? So I'm just pulling up my calendar here. So we said August 27th, right? So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we'll do the first card as August 27th through September 3rd. We'll do the second card as September 4th through the 13th. And I'll say them again when we're on each one. And then let's do, for the third one, September 14th through the 22nd. And the fourth one would be September 23rd through the 28th, right? Again, it's not exact. Okay. So sorry, I forgot to do that earlier. So again, we'll talk about the dates as an example every time we're on each card, okay? So, dear Virgo, I shouted out both my Virgos earlier, my best friend Carlos and my dad, so you know I have love for the Virgos. All right. Your first card here is the Ace of Sacred Circles, also known as Ace of Pentacles, right? So this is a fresh start energy. It's all about endings and new beginnings. It's also about abundance when we talk about sacred circles or pentacles, right? So money and wealth, but not just that, whatever it is you want to manifest in your life, okay? So this is really beautiful. And also in this card, if you can see, there's a little tiny buffalo over here on the side, right? So the buffalo represents strength and courage, but also it's an animal of a large size. So being more comfortable in taking up space, okay? And this is really nice, abundant, forward-moving energy here, Virgo, to start off your reading with, especially during the Virgo season, right? And I also forgot to mention, sorry, I got little pieces of sage all over my cards. That's not what I was going to say. But when we talk about the reading, right, we're picking up energy from the recent past. It can be even before, right, August 27th through September 3rd. And it will be different for everybody. When we talk about recent past, it could be a couple days ago, a couple weeks ago, months, years, etc. And if it's not directly about you, right, Virgo, it could be about someone you're dealing with, multiple people you're dealing with, or something in your environment, astrology, collective unconscious, etc. Okay, so again, only take what resonates for you individually. Okay, so we start off with that again, really fresh start energy of the Ace of Sacred Circles, right? And then we're moving into the Queen of Swords in the second kind of time week period. So we said this could be from around September 4th through September 13th. Okay, so we have royalty energy. Oh my gosh. And here it is about having mental clarity, right? Standing in power, again, taking up space like the buffalo, okay? But with this deck in particular, this Queen of Swords is not as cold as maybe other tarot decks kind of depict her, right? Because she has mental clarity, because she's in a position of authority, and she has a certain level of responsibilities and respect to others and respect to her as well. She kind of can be seen as the coldest queen in the tarot compared to, let's say, the Queen of Pentacles or the Queen of Wands, etc. Right? But here in this deck, hopefully you can see this Japanese woman is kind of laughing and smiling, right? So she's shown as this big giant, and she's standing in the ocean and she's looking down at the Japanese island here. Okay, so she has more humility. She's trying to show that she's maybe in a position of authority or power, but she can also show her more warm side, okay, not always being so defensive in certain ways, right? But generally, I would say here, Virgo, that this energy is really nice, okay? So it could be a leveling up energy for some of you guys. We'll see as we go more throughout the reading. But anytime we talk about kings and queens, right? Or especially following an ace, the ace of pentacles, it can be the highest level of something. So let's say, as an example, you were dating someone and you were living separately. So now you could be moving in together, or whatever the next step is for you personally, right? And it doesn't have to just be about romance. It can be about all different areas of life here. So this is really beautiful energy here for these first 2.5 weeks that we're talking about, Virgo. And again, really nice to see during your season. All right. Now, when we get to your third week here, which could be from around, what did I say, September 14th through September 22nd. This is the Nine of Staves or Nine of Wands energy. So it's going backwards a little bit in some regards because you have an ace, you have a queen, and then you have a nine of staves. So in tarot, 10 is the highest number, right? So 9 would be, again, endings and new beginnings, much like the aces. But with this nine of staves or nine of wands, it's an exhausted type energy and a certain feeling that somebody maybe wants to give up. They're almost there, but they kind of want to give up. So here we see this young African boy, and he's going through some type of rite of passage, and he's kind of taking a moment to take a rest here, but he really wants to give up because he's tired, he's hungry, whatever, right? And so it's telling you here, Virgo, to not give up, okay? And when we talk about staves or we talk about wands, this is our defenses, right? So make sure your health is doing good during this time. Always check in, right? And there's nothing wrong with taking a break, a rest, right? So then you can finish. Then you can go from the 9 to then the 10, right? So you can, again, embrace any endings, new beginnings, okay? Embrace stepping into your power, level of authority, working on confidence, whatever it may be here, okay? So just make sure you, again, towards the end, this looks like of Virgo season here, to really just take the break that you need, but then continue on, okay? All right. Now, moving forward, when we get to your fourth card here, we're going to talk about what's on the top and the bottom of each of the decks here, okay? Because they both, well, Spirit wanted me to talk about it together with this fourth card, and that's your fourth week, which could be from around September 23rd through the 28th or so. Again, could be a little bit before, a little bit after. But what's very interesting when we get there is you have a repeating card. Okay, so when that happens, it's like a particular message from Spirit to pay even more closer attention. Okay, because it's showing up again, and sometimes I shuffle on screen. I didn't get a chance to today just because of time, but trust me that when it comes out like that, it is meant to be that way. Okay. So anyway, back to the meaning of the card, and then we'll kind of break it down again with what's on the top and the bottom of each deck here. But remember how I said when you have that Nine of Staves, Nine of Wands energy, you want to take the break so then you can, right, continue forward with that ending, new beginning energy. But then when we talk about your fourth card, it's the Ten of Cups in reverse. Okay, so it will be different for everybody, but it could be basically saying here that somebody's resisting this ending and this new beginning emotionally, okay, because cups in the tarot talk about our emotions. Okay, so someone could be resisting it, whether it's you yourself, Virgo, or someone else you're dealing with in general environment situation. Okay, it could also be that if there is for some this ending and new beginning, that it is not perceived right away as something that is emotionally fulfilling because the Ten of Cups is in the reverse position. It also could be that that celebration around an ending and a new beginning is put on hold when the Ten of Cups is in reverse. So let's kind of dig deeper and see why this came out this way. But I wouldn't worry about it too much, especially because we have another fifth card here still. Okay, so don't freak out. Okay, it doesn't mean that it's all bad or anything. I mean, it's very good until we get to when we talk about the Ten of Cups in reverse. It's just like an energetic blockage. Okay, or a gentle reminder, as I say. Okay, so it's nothing to worry about too much. But I want to show you these repeating cards that showed up here. Okay, so again, these are the top and the bottom from each of the deck here. Okay, so what you have here, Virgo, is two aces. Okay, you have the Ace of Wands over here and the Ace of Staves over here. And in this deck, the staves are the same as the wands. Now, when we talk about what's on the top and the bottom of each deck, we're talking about past energy. So again, recent past could be a couple of days ago, months, years, etc., whatever it is for you. Okay, but it looks like maybe the reason why we got that Ten of Cups in reverse, when we just look at the two Ace of Wands together, okay, it could be that somebody was dealing with fire sign energy, right? So Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. It doesn't necessarily have to be a person. It could be referencing a time frame or just that general zodiac vibrational frequency, okay? But it's like maybe there's a little bit here too, Virgo, of someone or you yourself comparing this past ace energy, Ace of Wands, with the first card you got, the Ace of Sacred Circles, or Ace of Pentacles, as we call it as well. So maybe because we have that Nine of Staves, okay, right, almost getting to the 10, wanting to come out and having another ending, new beginning, fresh start energy, that somebody again is a little hesitant or they're worried that it won't be as emotionally fulfilling as another kind of change they're trying to compare it to, or you're trying to compare it to, was in the past, okay? But it could also be that when we had these endings and new beginnings in the past, as we all do throughout our life in multiple times, right? Love, life and love. I don't know why I said love, but I guess love wanted to come out too. Life and love is all about change, right? That's true for everybody. So there's good changes and there's bad changes, right? But if you lean into even the bad changes, sometimes it can be, somehow a little bit easier, okay? But again, when we have this Ace of Wands in the past here, Virgo, it's almost like there could have been something going on with your mental health or the other person's mental health or multiple people's mental health or corporations lifestyle energy where you work workplace mental health etc. I say that because when we put both of your ace of wands together with the other two cards, you have two swords cards in reverse. They're not the same card, right? But they're still both in the reverse position. So that's actually a good thing. That's how you want to see the swords, right? These swords cards in particular, because if they were right side up, it would be saying here in the past, Virgo, that there was a lot of anxiety, worry, overthinking, staying up late at night, being mentally exhausted, okay, with too much air energy. But in the past, someone here was able to stop that or reverse it. Okay. So, like I said, if these changes in some ways brought about more anxiety, worry, overthinking, as changes naturally tend to do, right? Like, how are things going to be different? What do I need to prepare for? What I need to anticipate, blah, 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 all those things. Sorry, guys, hold on. I put a crystal in my bra and it like fell all the way down my dress. Okay, good times. What was I saying? So yeah, so with in the past, if the changes brought about more of the anxiety, worry, overthinking, right? Um, then you were able to let that go because you maybe checked in with your health, your mental health, or the other person's, or both of you guys, or everybody. But also, it was about with this five of swords in the reverse position, right? Again, past energy, being like, okay, I don't need to be as competitive with others. I also don't need to be too much stuck in the past and too much stuck in the future, but more focused on the present moment. So because you here, Virgo, were able to do that, or the other person is multiple people, general environment situation in the past, maybe in this future, Ten of Cups in reverse energy, somebody's worried that they won't be able to do that again, or somebody's worried um, that they need their defenses back. Okay, because when we look at it more in particular with the Five of Swords right side up, this is a Japanese person here, and they just battled two other people. You don't see them in the picture, but they won. This person in the center won, and so they won all the swords. They only need one sword, right? So it's like, why is that person being so defensive, so greedy? Why are they being so competitive? An energy, not necessarily a person. But remember, both of these were reversed, okay? So maybe somebody here or an energy here is worried that they won't be able to find the energy around the Ten of Cups if it was right side up. So find the energy around um, rising to the endings and new beginnings, but also rising to different areas of your life, moving forward to the next step. Okay, because remember how I said tens are just like king and queens, and your second card was the Queen of Swords right side up. So rising to get more responsibility at work, have more responsibility in a relationship, whether it's romantic, platonic, with friends, or even working on self love, right? So it's a little bit of this hesitant energy, or it feels like it's quite not the right time, or there was a celebration put on hold in some way. And since if you are, not everyone watching this will be a sun sign Virgo, but if let's say you didn't get to do what you wanted for your birthday, or there's something around you not feeling emotionally satisfied in some way around your birthday. That could be because you're comparing it, perhaps for some, not everybody, to past birthdays, or yeah, it's just something that is a small energetic blockage. Okay, so I would just try to focus on how do I get back to making my Ten of Cups right side up. And the cups in the tarot are emotions. So asking yourself questions like, what would make my birthday, if we're talking about sun sign Virgo again, more emotionally fulfilling for me? How can I do things to celebrate myself, my birthday, without putting that responsibility and pressure on others, as an example? But also, if you're not a sun sign Virgo, right? How can I figure out what makes me happy emotionally? How can I find my Ten of Cups? How can I have more support around me and more celebratory energy to enjoy life every day, right? Staying in that present moment. So, moving forward, I think that pretty much covers that card. I don't want to stay there too long, but let's also talk about your fifth card over here, which is your confirmation card from the other deck, right? The bigger one. So this confirmation card is going to come in and confirm all four cards we just talked about, 4.5, 5 week time period. Okay. And your card is the Prince of Pentacles, okay, also known as Knight of Pentacles. Dun, da, da, da. Excuse me. So here he is on his horse, right? So remember, you're going from Ten of Cups in reverse to now the Prince of Pentacles right side up, or Knight of Pentacles right side up, okay? So because it's a confirmation card, it's stuck in kind of that limbo energy of being like, I could be the future, but I'm not set in stone. So if you want to stay in the Ten of Cups energy, you can stay there. But if you don't and you want to work it out, right, then there could be some type of medium-sized communication coming in here to you yourself, Virgo, or from you to another or multiple people, or it could be a medium-sized communication from the universe, your spirit guides, your guardian angels, your ancestors, what have you. Okay, but it is for momentum and it is progress. The guy is on his horse. Okay, and you started off your first card in the reading, the Ace of Sacred Circles, the Ace of Pentacles, and you end with another Pentacles card, the Prince of Pentacles. Okay, so it's definitely a good omen for abundance, for finances, for money and wealth, but also abundance and Pentacles is not just those things, but whatever it is you want to manifest in your life, it is possible, right? So there could be, again, just to reiterate real quickly before we move on to your oracle card, some type of medium-sized opportunity or communication to you or from the universe, okay? So opportunities in love, right? Opportunities in money, in relationships, in your health, in your creative stuff, whatever it is, okay? So I see that as a really good omen here. So I would try to focus on that, right, towards the end of that fourth card time period. So we said from around September 23rd through September 28th. If you feel kind of stuck with the Ten of Cups energy, just know that you can manifest it and change it around if you focus on the opportunities coming in, right? So maybe it's, again, maybe it's not the Ten of Cups. Maybe the opportunity or communication is medium. It's not a king, but he's a prince. He's a knight. He will eventually grow to that. So it could be that this opportunity or communication that comes in is a little bit smaller than you want it to be, or the other person wants it to be, or vice versa. But it is still a step, okay? And the prince is in tarot, if you're not familiar, right? It goes page, prince, and then king. So it's still bigger than a page, okay? That's why I said it's a medium-sized opportunity or communication. So it's there for you to consider and for you to manifest those energies if you want to, all right? So with all that being said, Virgo, let's finish up your reading here with your little oracle card for this time period and beyond. And this is one of Rebecca Campbell's decks. I'll try to put it in the description box later if you want to check it out yourself. All right, but the one you got for this time period, Virgo, is the Pillar of Light. And you see this woman kind of standing and like levitating over a lake or some body of water. And there's all these lights around her, okay? And it looks like a mirror image, kind of on each side of yeah, the mirror image of each. Anyway, I'll show it to you now. I'll come a little closer. It's kind of small. But it says your vibration is rising and you are the oracle. I don't want to get too close. Sometimes the camera won't focus, but hopefully you can see that little woman in the center there and all this body of water here, right? So it's just basically saying that you are the oracle, right? You are whatever you want to manifest. You are the light. So trust your intuition and do it, right? It says your vibration is rising, right? So if your vibration is rising and you have all these endings and new beginnings and level up, embrace it, right? Like we talked about earlier. So that is what I have for you, dear Virgo. I hope something here resonated for you. So let me know if you want to in the comments down below, but no pressure. So yeah, I'm going to take a little bit of a break here, and we will be coming back. I will be coming back, me and Spirit, when I say we, with the other signs, right, going backwards from Virgo. So yeah, also if you want to see a picture of the cards up close, I will be posting that in a little bit on my Facebook page. So all I have to do is click in the description box below and follow the instructions on how to get to the Facebook page. What else? Yes, if you like this video and you want to, you can hit the like button, right? If you already have a YouTube account, which is free, right? And liking videos are free. So it is just another way to tell YouTube's algorithms that you like this video and you want to share it with others so it gets more views. And what else? I think there's one more thing. Oh, yes. If you're not familiar and you want to subscribe, again, subscribing is also free. It just notifies you that when I put out new videos, so you can kind of see the notifications faster than if you were just to look for me on your own. So if you feel guided to do that, totally welcome. But if not, that's okay too. No pressure. All right. So I hope you guys enjoy this time period and you guys take care of yourselves. And I'll see you guys a little later. All right. Bye.